Like and subscribe and you'll have amazing luck for the rest of the week.
From aliens to secret society conspiracies, the Bermuda Triangle has had its share of stories. Today's video will show you 10 of the creepiest unsolved Bermuda Triangle mysteries. What secrets may people be hiding? Stick around to the end to find out. Number 10. Sea Tornado. The Bermuda Triangle is a breeding ground for rogue waves. It comes as no surprise when we hear of rampaging water attacking ships. Sea tornadoes, particularly known as whirlpools, are part of the mysteries that come with this unadventured space. The rogue waves found here are steep and tall, like walls of water, and they often hit unexpectedly. These freak waves can go up to 30 meters high. Big ships have trouble staying afloat, let alone small ships that can get totally swamped by them. But sometimes they can ride the wave if they hit it bow on. Could this be the mystery behind why so many ships have gone missing? Number 9. BEECHCRAFT Bonanza. For the movie lovers, The Irregulars was a true story for Bruce. It was his normal routine of flying high in the skies when one of his successful 200-plus flights left Bruce in chills. Things can happen quickly, and often you might want to take a moment and figure out what just happened. Most of those are always solved for Bruce, but this was incomprehensible. He couldn't understand what happened on that day. He was with his father on board, and their final destination was the Florida coast. As confident as he was, he knew it would be successful. Hiccups are normal, and he encountered the first one. A second one came his way, and he had no option but to go through it too. But the third one was weird, dark, and involved flashes of light like lightning, though it wasn't raining. This was a spine-chilling moment for him, as he'd never seen anything like that before. Out of the blue, a streak of hope came through at the end of the tunnel, but there was a rough 30 seconds when the plane started to malfunction. Fortunately, he succeeded and communication picked back up. But surprisingly, he was somehow already in Miami. A 90-minute trip only took 47 minutes. Are you convinced that portals exist? Number 8. Ghost Ship. Traveling alone in the vast ocean is scary. But when you meet your allies, it seems the journey's well and both of you gain confidence in safe arrival. How about encountering invisible travelers, yet their ship is intact and very beautiful? How would you react to it? In 1881, a ship from Liverpool named Ellen Austin was sailing to New York when it encountered a ghost ship in the Bermuda Triangle. It was stocked, but there wasn't any sign of its crew. It was the perfect moment to seize what they had. Little did they know what was ahead of them. Upon sending its crew members to check it out, a storm from nowhere came through. The following day, the abandoned ship was still intact, but there were no signs of the sent crew members. Ellen Austin sent a second crew, but a fog came through, blocking their vision. When it was clear, the abandoned ship had already vanished. Would you cower in the presence of a game of ghosts? Or maybe you'd cool your mind off and say that the first crew took off on the ghost ship upon seeing what it possessed. Number 7. Squad Flight 19. On December 5th, 1945, Flight 19 was in their normal training session when this fateful thing happened to them. At first, the sky was smooth with no winds. Air was serene for taking a flight. All 14 members suddenly vanished and entered the notorious triangle without knowledge. This kind of makes me freak out because, as you've seen in previous cases, when you enter this zone, communication is gone. This place is so secretive, as if making clear to us that this place does not get to be touched by anyone. The lieutenant got paranoid when his compass failed to work properly, saying they were entering white waters. Not white, but he didn't know where they were, and the waters were green. That was the last that was heard from him. A search crew of 13 members was later sent to trace them, and they were also swallowed by this triangle. A lot of rumors have circulated ever since. Some say it's the doings of aliens, while others cry, saying the city of Atlantis called them down. Ever since, only memories of these soldiers are left in our hearts, as not even a trace of them was found for over 70 years now. Number 6. The WITCHCRAFT Yacht. In 1967, this yacht called the WITCHCRAFT set off to explore the seas of Miami. It was only a mile away when two riders sent a signal that they had hit something and needed help. The rescuer was only 20 minutes away from them, and upon reaching, there wasn't any sign of the yacht. A search was concluded later, but nothing was found. Nothing. Number 5. Christopher Columbus. This strange phenomenon can't be mythical, because it's traced way back, even by the ancient technology of Christopher Columbus in 1492. This known sailor made his first voyage in the Atlantic, but what he encountered is something that he couldn't have imagined. He said that together with his crew, he saw flames bursting on the horizon, and it kept appearing several times. As if that wasn't enough, can you imagine your compass acting weird in the middle of the Atlantic? This is what happened to him as the sea rose with the help of the wind. Having these encounters left him in shock, but with the heart of a sailor, he pursued through them as he was known to be amongst the best sailors in his days. If this legend existed in the olden days, why can't we believe none of this is fictional? Do you believe it's real? Let us know in the comment section, because honestly, the more I think about this part of Mother Earth, my hair is starting to rise. Number 4. USS PROTEUS. In 1941, this US Navy ship was used to carry fuel, and it went missing with its members on board without even leaving a trace. What's even more spine-chilling is later its sister ship, the USS Nereus, also vanished mysteriously with 61 members on it. This triangle always has its math all calculated, and none seem a coincidence. Number 3. SS Marine Sulfur Queen, 1963. This ship got her unique name from her unique statute of carrying molten sulfur. Because of this, it had undergone several modifications to make it suitable for this task. Built in 1944, it came to its ill-fated day in 1963 when it set off for Norfolk. It was carrying over 15,000 tons of molten sulfur under 275 degrees Fahrenheit. You can imagine the kind of heat that was produced and how the crew members had to survive in that harsh condition. On the 2nd of February, when this journey began, something was wrong. It had skipped its service date in January, but the owner assumed it to be in perfect shape, not knowing it would be his last time to see this ship. Communication was cut, and the rescue team set out in search of it. The cause of this accident was a mystery. Only debris and life preservers were found 19 days later, with no sign of the ship. The 39 members of the crew vanished with the boat. Maybe the ship exploded, or maybe it sunk deep because of its weak center caused by the overheating of the sulfur. The fact that it was also not maintained is fair enough to cause the accident. All these stories are almost similar though. What if they decided to be dark sailors of the sea? Or do they never want to be found in the triangle? Number 2. FARO Ship, 2015. In 2015, this ship was traveling from Florida to Puerto Rico via the East Route. It was to pass through this monstrous triangle. At first, the journey was smooth, until something unexpected came up. Hurricane Joaquin. As cunning as the captain was, he challenged the crew to go through it, despite several warnings from their members not knowing what Mother Earth had in store for the ship. They tried their best till Joaquin rose to Category 3, making the engines faulty even though they prevented the ship from flooding. The captain also informed about the ship's condition, and everything went silent. The ship gave in to the dark waters, and the government intervened, but in vain. There was no sign of the ship in the first week. Several weeks later, it was found with sunk containers that had cars and no other electronics. The company owning the ship was responsible for this tragedy because how could they allow a 40-year-old ship to travel in such dangerous conditions? Number 1. Boat sailing to Florida. When you decided to take a twilight tour with your captain, then boom! Something unexpected happens. A dark moment. What runs in your mind is either real or unreal at that point. Did aliens suddenly come for you without notice? Unfortunately, a boat carrying 20 passengers suddenly went missing after the group left Bimini for Lake Worth in January 2021. They had reached the Miami boundary, and that's where communication was cut between his captain and the guides on land. You know the story seems bizarre because you can't just vanish into an unknown world like that. Or did underground monsters swallow the boat, never to spit it out? Upon conducting a thorough search, it was suspended as there was no lead on the victims. Government intervened and a lot of resources were set aside, but in vain. The shocking truth is that the longer they wait, the further the boat's drifting away from its original position. Could you imagine where the boat could be lying after a year of its desertion? See you next time.